Welcome to the Inside Pitch. I'm Christopher Lockhart, the creator and administrator of this private Facebook group where screenwriters, creators, filmmakers meet to ask and answer questions and exchange ideas and information on the craft and business of movie making. This is our holiday logline extravaganza that we're doing in coordination with our logline contest. And I do not moderate the group alone. I do it with Steve Enlow and my co-host for these events, a man whose last name has Santa in it. So we couldn't ask for a more appropriate co-host, Ramesh Santa.
Hey.
Nam. So today you're going to be Santa Nam.
Exactly.
And happy holiday.
Happy holidays to you too.
We got I guess a lot happening today. So just very quickly, I'm kind of using some prehistoric tech today for various reasons. I don't have a microphone. I don't have an O-ring light. Hopefully everything will be okay and we'll be able to push through this. I'm assuming that we're going to get a lot of good log lines, right, Ramesh?
I hope so. Put your log lines in there. We'll look at them.
All right. So we are going to be announcing the winner of our logline contest, but you didn't think we were going to do it right up at the top, did you? Certainly not.
But first, these messages from our sponsors.
We're going to make them listen. If we had to wade through the 200 plus log lines, then we're going to make them do it today. Right. You know, I'm so discombobulated today because my plans didn't quite work out. I had all of these statistics that I was going to share, but in regards to the log lines, but I'll just write a post up and drop them later on. So really what we're going to do today is we're going to take your log lines and we're going to give you feedback. I think some of the rules are we're going to ask one log line per person. Don't be greedy.
Right.
And then when we give you feedback, a lot of members are often anxious to then reshare that log line. We're going to ask that you not to do that, at least not for us. If you want to reshare it with other people in the comments, but these things usually run 3 hours, and we don't have that kind of time today. So
we keep it to 2.
Say that again? Yeah, just 2 hours today because my son is shooting a short film in Venice and I am the star. So I have to get there. And, you know, Ramesh, the life of a celebrity, it's very...
say like, you know, starring Christopher Lockhart and Jessica Chastain, you know.
I wish. All right, just before we get started, let me just thank the person that needs to be thanked here is, of course, Ramesh. This is all Ramesh's idea. You know, he always has to jolt me out of a coma. He's the one who says, hey, how about we do a logline contest this year? He's the one that gathers all the log lines. He does all the work. Ramesh is the Elmer's glue for the Inside Pitch. He really is. He holds this place together. He's the one that motivates me to do anything. All of these live events, it was all his idea. I don't put a moment of thought into this group. He puts all the thought into it. So,
thank you,
Ramesh, for better or worse, I thank you. I know that the members thank you also.
No, I'm happy to do this. Thank you.
All right, so here it is. Here's the chat. All right, I'm just gonna click on this little button here. All right, here we go. So let's just see because we're gonna have
we have a lot of people.
There's a lot of people today. You know, we haven't had this many people since Christopher McQuarrie and my COVID head. So has it started? 11 people asked, has it started? It has started. So just for the record, I'm reading off of the YouTube comments. Ramesh, are you going to look at the Facebook group?
But nowadays, it looks like the last few times people have just posted. I will look on the Facebook too, but it looks like a lot of people just post now.
They're just posting here. Yeah. So I would suggest if you want to interact with us to just come to the stream on
YouTube. If
on
you
YouTube, and you can just drop your comments there
if you
because
post it on Facebook, I'll still keep looking there to catch any stragglers. So
great, because it's important that when you drop in the comments, and we can do stuff like this. Bon Natale, Caroline. So and we want to be able to actually
right.
put your log lines up here. So all right, so one more time, we will be announcing the winner of our log line contest at the end of this session. Now, just for the record, because we didn't get clearance, we're not going to share the winning log lines. We're only going to announce the winner. And then later, if we get the okay from the writer, then we will share the log line.
Right.
Ramesh also, by the way,
Yeah.
again, with the most beneficent heart, he said, hey, how about we have some runner-ups too?
Yeah.
And so there are 2 runner-ups. Yeah, I don't think you guys are getting anything, but it's like an honorable mention for you.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, Ramesh, I think we should just roll into this. Let's start it. You guys are going to share a log line, or if you have a question or comment, feel free to drop it in there and we will address it.
Someone said, are we posting the log lines that we submitted or a different log line that we are workshopping?
I mean, I think you can do either. And because here's the thing also is that there was a year when we actually gave feedback on every single log line.
It took off.
This year I was like, fuck that. So
we were here till Christmas.
Well, I think we were there even after Christmas. We were still sending out. And so if you want feedback on the log line that you submitted,
right.
Okay, we're going to keep a poker face because
right.
it's possible that that one of the log lines will have been the winner, but we will not tip that off. The one thing I will say about the log lines in the contest was I thought a lot of them were strong, but I wasn't really bowled over. I wasn't, I wasn't like, wow, like this one is fantastic or this one is amazing. Right. Some of them were very close, but what we did was that we kind of held firm to some of the stuff that we preach in the group. So if it's an amazing concept, but the log line doesn't give the protagonist anything to do, then that was a pass for us. Right. And sometimes there were log lines that were really great, but there was just one word every now and then that just sort of like, ooh, like that's just not the right word. It's too inactive or this or that. So we were being strict, I think, in some ways. So
there were a lot of log lines I saw. I'm like, man, I really like this concept. And I actually, depending on what my schedule is, there are some log lines that I might actually drop a note to the right and go, hey, can I read this? Only because I was like, this sounds really interesting. The log line doesn't nail it, but I'm like,
Yeah. I mean, there were some that I really, really liked, and but yet there was something missing, and in the context of this contest, I was like, yeah, okay, I think maybe I'm just going to pass on it, even though I actually really like this. So at any rate, you might see a little bit of that going on here today. So, you can.
And there were a lot of log lines also that were vague.
There were, and I'm sure we're going to see some of those here. So I think what we see today will be probably a pretty good representation of what we saw in the contest. And
for the record, we got more than 200 log lines.
We did, correct. Yes. We got about, was that 200, how many?
216.
216. So, out of 16,000, that's a very small amount, but actually we wouldn't want to wade through 16,000
No,
log lines.
no.
Right. So,
And
we're
also, I
glad.
think more people entered the logline competitions than before when we used to do it, because before we used to allow people to submit as many loglines as they want,
That's
and
correct.
there were members who submitted like 25, 30 loglines.
That's right. That's right. So, like one year, there were only like 9 people that actually.
But we had like 700
Right.
loglines.
Yeah. 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 Well, by the way, we should say thank you to our group members.
Yes.
We really appreciate your participation. We appreciate you coming into the group, helping each other. You're from all around the world, and yet we're very much one voice. I think it's a relatively small group. 16,000 is not a very large group, but I think that we do things in our group that most screenwriting groups on Facebook don't do, or if they do it, they're charging you. So we bring you nothing but first class education and entertainment
For free.
streaming for free. All right, let's stop
And
patting
one more
ourselves on
thing
the
before
back.
one more thing before we continue. A big thank you to Brian Austin and Scott Foster for Script Hop for giving the winner a run through the gauntlet, and to Joey Tuccio of Roadmap Writers for giving us giving the winner a free pitch session.
Is
Pitch
it a
prep
session?
session.
It's a
Pitch
prep.
prep.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
pitch
pitch
prep.
prep.
Yeah, it's almost like a $500 value or something like that.
So
I think. Yeah, so it's
it's
pretty
the
nice.
money
And
value
just
here
seeing
is
where
huge.
everybody's from: Greece, Minneapolis, Lithuania. I don't even know where Lithuania is.
I've been to Vilnius. It's a great city. I
Look
love
at this
Vilnius. It
Pine
has a wonderful
Island,
old city in Vilnius.
Croatia, France, Hawaii. Wow, San Antonio, frigid Canada, Austin. By the way, I'm seeing a lot of places, but no log lines, Ramesh. I'm getting a little nervous.
Oh, there are a couple here already.
Okay. Gold Coast. Wow, unbelievable. Ramesh, you don't have piloting capabilities.
No, I don't.
So, unfortunately,
But I have played. I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express once. But
poo,
I'm here all day, folks.
Ramesh is the Jarvis for Inside Pitch.
the Iron Man thing. Okay, I get it.
Love the McHugh interview. Thank you. We do too. Are we posting the log lines that we submitted? All right, we already asked it. All right, I found one.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Oh, now I'm starting to see some log lines. Okay, here we go, folks. First log line. Oh God, what is this? I'm telling you, my tech today is bad.
Someone said, "Will you comment on the log line submitted for the contest?" In a rough way, we'll talk about stuff, but yeah, not.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, the down low. A queer Latina street boss fighting to gain enough street cred to be in Tupac Shakur's posse risks her life to keep her abusive relationship on the down low. The down low. All right, Ramesh, what do you think?
Let's see. Let me read this thing. I'm gonna try and find.
We got a Latina street boss. She's fighting to gain enough street cred
to be in
Tupac Shakur's posse. Now, me being like an old white man, I don't exactly know what being in Tupac Shakur's posse means. And by the way, just about everybody in Hollywood is an old white man. Yeah. So I'm not, like, what does that mean? Like in his entourage?
Yeah, and I'm trying to find.
That's the white person word, entourage. Yeah.
Entourage. I'm trying to find the connection between the abusive relationship. Is she enough street cred to be in, to keep her abusive relationship on the down low from whom? The posse, or the fact that is the abusive relationship contained in the posse that she's.
Yeah. And who is she keeping the abusive relationship from?
Right.
Or from whom?
Right.
Is she keeping the abusive relationship? No, I don't think you can say that. I don't know. But who is
she hiding it from?
Yeah, right. So I like the world.
Yes,
I
I
think it's
do.
interesting. I like a Latina street boss.
Right,
Um, and um, and I like the sort of the conflict of a street boss
right,
that's in an abusive relationship.
right.
So her
Exterior.
outward presentation is tough, and yet what's happening on the inside is perhaps the antithesis of that. That is interesting to me. So I like that conflict a lot. But yeah, I'm just not 100% sure uh, who she's keeping the relationship
I'm trying to
from.
find the
Is it?
connection between the abusive relationship
Yeah. Well, I mean,
and the boss.
is she trying to hide it so she can protect her street cred
Right, right,
in order to get into Tupac's posse? And if Tupac's posse means that much to her, why didn't she just just dump the abuser?
right.
So it's solid, I think, but maybe leaves a couple of questions for us. All right, let's try another one. The actor bait Western.
Oh, that's the title.
Is it the
Right.
actor bait
Yeah, yeah.
Western, or is that the it could, or is it
Yeah.
the actor bait and then Western is the
The
genre?
genre. Yeah.
Well, whatever. The 1882 Endeavor gunfight left 12 lawmen dead in the street and wiped the Arizona town off the map. There was one survivor. This is his story. All right, so this is maybe slightly unconventional,
Yes.
but it's okay. I mean, sometimes an unconventional log line works. We're always asking sort of specifically for who is the protagonist,
Right.
what does the protagonist want, what stands in the protagonist's way. Um, this kind of gives away the movie,
Yeah.
right?
Because
Yeah, because now like
I want to know if the story is this is his story, as in, are we talking from the time early on to the gunfight, or is it the story of the survivor after the gunfight?
And by the way, we're really dumb because
Yeah.
it's the actor bait Western, meaning this Western is actor bait for a great actor. Okay. Listen, folks, it takes us a couple of minutes, but we're sharp enough to pick up on
This
these
is my
things.
only my first cup of coffee.
Well, and this is all I've even had
Yeah.
today,
So
water. All right, so let me read it one more time. The 1882 Endeavor gunfight, which I never heard of, which is
right.
good, left 12 lawmen dead in the street and wiped the Arizona town off the map. Okay, there was one survivor. This is his story. So, I mean, this is an interesting way to phrase it, but there's not necessarily a lot of, I'm sorry, I couldn't find my phone. And so I couldn't shut it off, but now it's somewhere here. And
I just heard something in the background.
yeah, it keeps ringing but at any rate, I don't know where it is. But then when I need to find it, I won't be able to find it. I'll have to have you call me
Yeah, I'll
afterwards.
call you. I'll call you
Okay, thank you.
afterwards.
All right. So so look, this log line doesn't there's a little bit of mystery, right? In the sense of, okay, so like how did this guy survive? But the log line also could have been phrased perhaps in a more conventional way. I think this is fine.
This is fine. I have a lot of questions, as in, I don't know if the survivor is one of the lawmen or one of the other bad guys who shot the lawman.
I mean, I'm assuming that they started with 13 lawmen. I don't know, but
Yeah.
you're right. We don't know that for sure.
Right.
We certainly don't know who the antagonist is here,
No.
right? So we don't know who is doing the shooting,
Right.
right? So like that's an issue with these kinds of log lines sometimes, which again technically isn't really a log line,
Right.
but at least from my perspective. And but I think that there's enough intrigue here to make it
Remember
interesting.
last year, was it last year, there was the log line on the blacklist that it was something like a man and a woman go to a cottage. There is a pool. That was like, that was
Right,
pretty much
right.
the
Yes.
only.
Correct.
Uh,
Yeah, but you know something. A lot of those log lines. So, like the log lines on that annual blacklist.
right.
Those are not necessarily the log lines that a production company is writing for that script when that script comes into their offices.
No.
Those log lines are written by the either by the writer who perhaps is maybe trying to be a little coy because they don't want to reveal too much in this particular kind of PR
Right.
forum like the blacklist. Um, those scripts don't necessarily need a log line to do the heavy lifting for them because they're on the blacklist.
Blacklist. Right.
Just being on the blacklist does the heavy lifting. And if there's enough there to kind of, tickle somebody's intrigue button, then they're going to push it and say, yes, okay, I want to read it. But when you're not on the blacklist and you're trying to get a manager to read your script, being coy, being cute, look, you could give it a shot, but but I'm not saying that it's perhaps the best strategy.
Right.
But that's what people like to do. And something, a lot of this business is trial and error. So you can try something, send it out, and if you are getting responses, then it's working. Don't change it. But if you're not getting responses, then you probably need to very quickly reconnoiter, and say, uh-oh, maybe I need to rethink this log line.
Yes.
All right. After the attack on Pearl Harbor, a rookie pilot must navigate around the world and stop a murderous Nazi scheme to get his onboard war-ending cargo safely home.
Wait, what? Okay. After the attack, a rookie
I might
pilot.
know this log line.
After
I
the
might.
attack on Pearl Harbor, a rookie pilot must navigate around the world to stop a murderous Nazi scheme to get his
To get his
onboard.
onboard war-ending cargo safely home. I do know this. I
Uh-huh.
do know this log line. And let me just say to the writer that you did a great job on this log line. I think you really cleaned this log line up a lot. So here, we've got the rookie pilot.
Pilot
We know what the mission is.
is right.
And we're assuming that the villains here are going to be Nazis. They always make
Yes.
for great villains.
Yes.
We just hate the Nazis. And
Yes, we still hate Nazis.
we still hate them. And I'm assuming, I mean, I could be wrong, by the way. Maybe there's another person that is telling the same story. But if this is who I think it is, and she knows that I'm talking to her, you really did a good job on this, because this is much improved.
I can see the story unwind here.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're kind of navigating around the world.
Yes.
So we don't exactly know what that means, what that looks like. We don't really know what the adventure is per
That's
se.
the only sort of vague phrase I don't like, navigate around the world. But
Yeah, but believe me, this is come leaps and bounds from where it was. But yes, I think an issue with the story always was just sort of this idea of being in an airplane. Now, look, being in an airplane, for an entire movie, let's say, can be very intense and very exciting. But navigating around the world
right.
maybe doesn't give us enough insight into what that looks like or what that excitement is. All right, thank you. All right, so somebody, but I don't think, I'm not sure there's a log line here. Let me just click and
Did
see.
you see the?
Yeah, there's no log line here. Pound of Flesh feature horror, but no log line.
But I didn't see Pound of Flesh. Did you see Susanna Gonzalez's question?
I'm seeing a question here, and this is hers.
Yeah.
What type of antagonist, a character system, force or dilemma best strengthens a log line and or idea concept? I don't think that there is any best antagonist. It's the antagonist that's best for the story that you're telling. So hopefully you have chosen the right antagonist for your story.
But I also say if you have like a system, like he takes on the U.S. military or something like that, it's always good to have someone sort of representing that.
It's always good to have like a personification.
Yes.
So like if you go back to the movie, I'm going to go back to the original Twister. You know, you had these natural disasters.
Right.
These twisters are the antagonists, but I think it's Carrie
Yes.
Elwes.
Yes. Right.
He is a villain. He's the human villain. So it's always good perhaps to give a human face
Right.
to something that may not be human. But that doesn't mean that, you know, you always have to go that route. It's something that might be worth considering.
Like in Spotlight, they have the spokesperson for the church who's sort of the buffer,
Yes,
you know.
correct. Right.
Um,
Yes. All right. So we have a lot of people. I don't know. Oh, maybe she's just joking. Heidi, you
You're welcome to hell. No way. I like that.
I don't know. Or maybe you know, I don't know if this the other platform that we used to use, if you recall, they only allowed a certain amount of characters.
Right.
All right. The Incredibly Oriental Adventures of Rogers and Williams. Two of Queen Victoria's least competent agents must test their mettle on a perilous journey east to retrieve the world's largest diamond. Okay. And listen now, here we have a journey versus that other journey, which was, you know, like navigating the world, right? But here we use the word perilous.
Yes.
And so that sort of gives us an idea. Oh, okay.
Right. I wish there was someone trying to stop them from getting the world's largest diamond, but
yes.
oh,
who is who or what is the antagonist?
right. I mean, unless they have to sort of, you know, go on a sort of a pathway where, you know, I get the perilous journey, but so you know, and then journey east, I'm guessing they're going towards like Southeast Asia.
Well, it's the Incredible Oriental
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Adventures of Rogers and Williams, two of Queen Victoria's least competent, and perhaps the writer is maybe couching the idea that they are incompetent as being part of the antagonism here.
Yeah,
but
it's sort of two Inspector Clouseaus on their way.
Yeah, yes. But there's also always a villain for Inspector Clouseau. So yeah, so this is definitely missing an antagonistic force. But we do have the protagonists, and we do know what it is that they want, which is to retrieve the world's largest diamond. We don't know why they need the diamond. We don't really know what's at stake.
Did we really know why the British needed all of that stuff? No.
Well, in real life, we never have to know anything, but in the movies, sometimes we do, right?
And yes, I wish I knew what they were up against.
Yes, I agree. So, it's starts off well, at least. We cannot let a moment go by without the emoji queen. There she is. Maria, she's the emoji queen. She's the one that's dropping all those emojis and memes on the group page. Love her or not, I love your emojis. They're happy. They're happy like you. All right. The embassy job. An insecure, snooping bride-to-be and her gal pals must prove the groom innocent of embezzling from a foreign embassy by outsmarting the evil ambassador in time for the wedding. All right, so here are things that I like that the logline does, right? Is that the logline does pull out the bride.
And that she's snooping.
Snooping, right? I mean, you kind of have to here, but still, you know, we might see a log line where it would be a bridal party.
Right, exactly.
Must prove the groom, you know, without pulling out the bride and making her own entity within the log line. So I'm glad you did that. So we know who the protagonist is. What is it that she wants? She needs to
his innocence.
prove his innocence, and who is the antagonist? What's the antagonistic force? There's an evil ambassador.
In time for the wedding.
Right. We don't exactly know what the groom does, why he's in this kind of trouble.
Right.
And I mean, I don't know if we have to know that here, but
it works.
But yeah, I mean,
And
you know,
I'm guessing
overall,
I'm guessing it's a comedy.
I'm assuming it.
Yeah.
I certainly hope it's a comedy. Yeah.
Right.
And but this gives us everything that we would need in a log line.
Right.
Including the ticking clock.
Yes.
Right. So yeah, so I think that's great. That's what you want, folks. You want who is the protagonist?
Yeah.
What does the protagonist want, and what stands in the protagonist's way? Uh-oh, somebody's saying, can Santa? Oh, is that you or me?
What?
Somebody wants us to speak up a little bit. Maybe it's you. Can Santa? Because I did refer to you as Santa earlier.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I lost my place.
All right. An old man searching for a Christmas miracle for his wife battles to save her and other hostages when ruthless criminals take over the hospital they're in to save one of their own. All right, so it's obviously Die Hard in a hospital.
Yeah, it's Die Hard in a hospital, sort of like.
Only we have an old man.
Yes, so I like the idea of an old man.
Right, so we have an old man who's searching for a Christmas miracle for his wife because his wife is ill. We're assuming, we don't know with what.
It's sort of John Q-ish a little bit, maybe. That's
yeah.
I know.
Battles to save her and other hostages when ruthless criminals take over the hospital they're in to save one of their own. All right, so you know what? Maybe we can assume that one of the criminals was shot and taken to the hospital, and you know.
Yeah.
All right, you know, I mean, we've seen it before. It sets it up.
Yeah. There's a Korean film that's sort of like this that takes place that's Die Hard in a hospital.
Oh, is that right?
A few years ago, yeah.
Okay, well, so Joe may want to seek that out, or maybe this is his Americanized Christmas version of it. But
I like the idea of an old man. Sort of make it different than, say, you know, the retired cop or the, you know.
I agree, right. However, though, he's probably an old man who's a retired cop.
Right. Right now, you get, like, you know, the window cleaner who used to be a special forces agent.
Of course. You know, like the beekeeper,
the beekeeper, the bricklayer, the baker,
Yes.
I think there's one called the handyman now.
And there's one from the Blacklist, which was the milkman, right? Which was John Wick, except with a cow.
Right. You know.
So go figure. All right, but again, you know something? This logline has all the right ingredients.
Right.
So this logline works. Now then, you know, then you have to take it to another level. So like so my office, I read a logline and I might say, okay, this logline works. Like, you know, like this logline is good. It's got everything that I need. But then the next question is, does it intrigue me?
Right.
Do I want to read the script? Yeah. So it's always kind of a two-prong approach to a logline. Yeah. You know, just because the logline is well written does not necessarily mean that everybody is going to spark to it.
Right.
So, you know, just like every single produced film doesn't spark with every single moviegoer. Some people see a trailer and say, yes, that's for me. And other people see the same trailer and say, that's not for me. And a logline is sort of a trailer for your script. And so you're not going to win over everybody. So you always have to keep that in mind.
But you can pitch this. You can pitch this as Die Hard in a hospital.
You can, but you know, but I wonder because it's kind of overdone. You know, I mean, it almost became a joke after a while. You know, Die Hard in a nursery school,
right.
Die Hard here, Die Hard there. So I don't know, and but regardless, the logline does work.
So. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? So
I can hear you.
I know.
All right, so we're going to do Heidi.
Hi.
A withdrawn teen who
Wait,
hears the dead discovers her isolated Nordic town was founded on a ritual betrayal and must expose her own family's sins to stop a sentient winter from extracting its reckoning.
wait.
Woo!
Who hears the dead discovers the isolated. Oh, this is the hell. Hell is Norway, or Norway is hell.
Oh, there we go. Okay,
This
so
this
right.
is the one. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
A withdrawn teen who hears the dead discovers her isolated Nordic town is founded on a ritual.
So we have the withdrawn teen,
Yeah.
right? And she's struggling to expose her own family's sins,
Right.
and the antagonist would be a sentient
It,
winter.
I don't know what that a sentient. I mean, I know what sentient is, but I don't know what a sentient winter is like. But
Maybe something. It might be like the Winter Warlock in Santa
right.
Claus is Coming to Town. Maybe
Um,
where
from exacting its reckoning. But other than that, I love Nordic horror stories, and
yeah, I do too. My complaint would be must expose her own
family
family's
sins.
sins.
Right.
I don't really know what that means.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit poetic, a little bit metaphoric. And
Yeah.
what does that look like? Like,
Right.
what is she actually doing to expose sins?
Right.
Um, and
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 and by
and,
the
and
way, since I read a lot of like Nordic and sort of horror, that's all that's on my shelves right now. You do see a lot of that in sort of uncovers the history of her family or something.
yes, yes, yeah.
You see
Look,
a lot of that.
I get it.
Right.
I get it. But just in terms of a film,
Right. Oh
you know,
yes.
we need that to be cinematized.
Yes.
And this feels more novelistic, just exposing her own family's sins. That feels very internal to me.
Yes.
And so I would like to know sort of what that means. What is she doing? What does she have to do to expose her family's sins? And maybe Heidi could find a more cinematic way to express that.
And I wonder if there's someone in her family who's trying to grandpa, or someone who's trying to sort of stop her from exposing these sins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Somebody has just here. Somebody wrote, I prefer a strong long log line in a single sentence. It looks good, feels good, reads good, but hard to do sometimes, I guess. I got to tell you, with a little bit of creative punctuation, sometimes you can make, and you could,
yeah,
I'd say 99.999% of all log lines I write are one sentence. Might be a long sentence. Might even cheat with like a semicolon or dashes or something.
I cheat with dashes all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but usually I think actually this year I haven't written a single log line that's two sentences. So
right.
Um,
Thank you for holding this. Thank you. That's my Scottish buddy.
yeah.
Thank you. Let's see. Let's just scrolling down. Here's a question.
How does
how does an Iowa Writers Workshop trained arts writer and contest winning screenwriter with 2 developed scripts get attention from producers?
Okay. The Iowa Writers Workshop's really good, by the way.
It is good. So, the first thing that I would say is are you utilizing your connections through that workshop?
Yeah.
I'm sure that there are producers that are affiliated. I'm sure there are producers that have graduated from that. Perhaps trying to utilize. I mean, that's one of the reasons why you should go to any of these schools and stuff like that. It's not for the education, because you can often get that kind of education by just doing.
Right.
It's really because you're trying to make connections. You're meeting people who are going to go off into the business with you. And, maybe you'll work together, or maybe they'll move a little bit faster through the tunnel than you do. And as a result, they can drag you along, or vice versa. And, you give each other legs up, you give each other work. But I would start there. Contest winning, look, winning contests is great,
Right.
but it doesn't really impress producers as much as I think writers want to believe that it does. Yes, if it's the nickel, I guess now, I mean, even though kind of the bloom seems to be off that rose a little bit,
Yeah.
um,
And also,
maybe they'll be able to get
it
back.
depends on which contest. I mean, if you
Well, that's
win
what I'm
nickel,
saying.
yes, as opposed to the Idaho potato peeling and
Well,
screenwriting competition.
exactly right. But so, how do you get a producer's attention? There's really no answer to that, but you have to put your work out there.
Right.
So you have to be querying producers. You have to be places where then you are meeting producers, where you're able to talk about your work. Um, it's not like you necessarily even have to be somewhere in person anymore because, a lot of producers have Twitter accounts or
Right.
Instagram accounts, and, you can actually get to know people through social media and should probably be doing that. All of you should be doing that, I
And
think.
also, honestly, as you said earlier, networking, knowing people, because what will happen eventually is someone will champion your script to someone they know. Um, and, that's sort of how it can get going too.
Right,
So,
right.
uh,
Sharing your material is very important.
right.
I know it's hard to ask people to read scripts, and nobody wants to read scripts, and of course, everybody has their own scripts.
Right.
But uh, you have to put your work out there. So, however you do that, and then the other reality is that if people aren't responding to those two projects that you have developed, maybe they're not the right projects.
Right.
And so you have to keep writing.
Yeah.
Just because you've written a script doesn't mean that it is supposed to be a movie or that anybody is going to buy it.
Right.
You cannot go into that, um, necessarily relying on that.
Right.
You
And
can certainly hope and you can work your ass off for it to happen, but you have to keep writing. You have to keep writing,
right. And
and
it could be a good script, but it's maybe a period piece with giant war scenes with 30,000 soldiers and all of that stuff.
right,
And
again,
right.
there could be a million
Million
reasons why people are not responding to it, and so again, you might have to reconnoiter. But ultimately, you have to get your material out there. You have to share it, and you yourself have to be out there. So that means saving up your money and going to Austin, and meeting people. You should really create a very large network of people. All of you should be doing that.
Yes. And even if you don't enter the Austin Film Fest, the screenwriting competition itself, just going to, I think the conference is still very effective.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Of
Yeah.
course, yeah. Because look, you can meet Ramesh.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. But
All right. When an accident-prone actress steals a former rally car, not knowing its driver's ghost controls it, she strikes a bargain to help him solve his murder in time to get her to the audition of a lifetime. It's driver's ghost. Oh, it's driver's ghost. Okay, we needed an apostrophe.
apostrophe. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Shit.
All right. Not knowing its driver's ghost controls it, strikes a bargain to help him solve his murder in time to get her to the audition of a lifetime. All right, it's interesting. The there's like maybe a little bit of a disconnect between the actress and the rally car. They're
Yeah.
two very different worlds. Um, but um, I think the antagonistic force is implied because the ghost was murdered.
Yes.
I think I'd like to know
The
more about
driver was murdered, not the ghost.
the ghost, huh?
The driver was murdered, not the ghost.
Well, the ghost was murdered, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, yeah. So, but maybe I'd like to know more the
Who?
about the ghost. Yeah,
Yes.
what is he like the ghost of Mario Andretti or something like
Right.
maybe just a tiny bit more. But overall, I think the log line
Yeah, it
works.
works.
You
It
know,
has.
yeah,
It has her goal. She has to get somewhere to for the audition of a lifetime.
Yeah, yeah. For me, that's sort of not all that
But
interesting,
but
but I like the idea of helping a ghost solve their
ooh,
murder. Um, you know,
yeah,
the rest of it just
sort of, yeah,
kind of sounds like a way just to couch it, so there's a finish line, in regards to her personal story, and a little bit of a ticking clock. Um, but do we really care about her audition for Lifetime when there's,
a ghost. Yeah.
so, all right.
Though she could get out of the car and just take an Uber.
Oh,
Sorry. Sorry.
we did have a couple of those logic issues
Yes, we did.
with some log lines. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, like sometimes you're like, well, like, why doesn't the character just call the police, or why doesn't the
right.
character just go home?
Right.
And so sometimes you have to make
I know. I'm just kidding.
no,
I'm
no, no,
just
no,
kidding.
no, no,
But yeah.
but no, but this is true because sometimes a log line sort of doesn't quite feel bulletproof.
Hmm.
And like, if the concept is really good, then someone might say, something,
Right.
I'll read the script
Right.
and see how they handle it. Other times, if the concept maybe doesn't bowl you over, then the fact that it's not bulletproof
Yeah.
might actually hurt it a little bit. So, by the way, you know why she doesn't take Uber? Because it's expensive.
Right. That's true.
After accidentally performing a miracle, a naive theologian and his cynical Jewish doctor friend hit the road, chased by big pharma, desperate believers, and doubt itself on a soulful journey. That's one of two. On a soulful journey.
Where's part two?
Oh, I got it. I found it. On a soul. All right, you ready?
Here we go.
All right, wait, hang on now. After accidentally performing a miracle, a naive theologian. By the way, let me just say, if you have to write this in two parts, too fucking long. All right, anyway, after accidentally performing a miracle, a naive theologian and his cynical Jewish doctor friend hit the road, chased by big pharma, desperate believers, and doubt itself on a soulful journey toward redemption, love, and something that might actually be heaven sent. One miracle, one airstream, zero divine plan. He's back. Woo!
I'm guessing he is Jesus.
Oh, I don't know. Let me tell you, after that log line, I need me some Jesus.
It's too long. I honestly, you lose track of the beginning when you get to the end. By the way.
Yeah, and I don't know what's going on in the story.
I don't.
So they're on a mission to do what?
Right. I'm on a
They're
mission
on a
from
mission for
God.
redemption, to redeem themselves from what?
Right. And
Love, something that might actually be heaven sent. Yeah, this is all, so look. So Beverly, I think this is a log line that maybe tries to do too much. I think you just might be better off just kind of just like telling us the story. So you have these two characters, and it's basically a road movie. They're being chased by Big Pharma. I have no idea why they're being chased by Big Pharma.
right.
Is there any reason why? Do we see anything here?
No, I'm guessing because the miracle cured someone and the person who was cured doesn't need the drugs anymore from Big Pharma. So this is all I'm just extrapolating here.
Wow.
And then
Sounds like
because
you're
of
masturbating too. I mean, but you shouldn't have to work this hard.
no, exactly.
Right.
And
I
it's
mean,
so
by the way, that's very, very good connective tissue, I think.
right.
You could be right.
Right.
In your
But I
theory.
could also be wrong, and you don't
You could
want
be wrong, and
the
then
wrong.
and then you're reading the script, and then
It's
right.
and you're
Listen.
having big pharma, desperate believers. I don't know what doubt itself, being chased by doubt itself, looks like.
Right.
And then on a soulful journey toward redemption, love, and something that might actually be heaven sent. Uh, so yeah, it's convoluted. It's
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it sounds like it could be fun,
right.
but if Ramesh has to work that hard to try to fill in the blanks,
Yeah.
then I don't think the log line is doing what it's supposed to be doing.
No, it's stick. Who's the protagonist? What do they want? Who's in their way?
Right,
If you have that down, then you can sort of work off of that.
right.
Um,
Thank you, Ramesh. All right, just very quickly, Stephanie's saying the pitch prep month was the best of all top tier months. I don't know what that means. What is she referring to? The
the
Roadmap
roadmap.
Writers?
Yeah.
Roadmap Writers Prize, yeah. Again, thank you to Roadmap. Thank
Yeah.
you to Script
Joe.
Hop, to
Yes.
Gauntlet.
And yes, exactly.
Oh, Ramesh, here's another log line. An aging writer uses a humanoid double to sell her novel.
Well, it's
But when
not
the
showing up on mine for some reason. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
oh,
Didn't mean-
do you see it on your screen?
No,
You don't see it on the screen?
no. For
I
some
wonder if
reason,
only I'm seeing these on the screen. I mean, I'm assuming that everybody's seeing these.
like I'm seeing, this is the second one I haven't seen.
Oh, okay. But you are seeing some of them.
I'm seeing a lot of them, just not
Okay.
this one. Yeah.
All right. I listen. This is what happens when I go for the cheaper version of StreamYard. Maybe next year. All right. An aging writer uses a humanoid double to sell her novel. But when the creation seizes her identity in life, she must fight to stop a younger humanoid version of herself before she's replaced forever. All right. So who's the protagonist here, Ramesh?
The aging writer.
Okay. And what does the aging writer want?
Is to sell her novel.
No, she wants to.
No, sorry, no, to stop the younger humanoid version. Yeah.
Correct. And the antagonistic force would be the younger humanoid, right?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think
works.
this is solid. Here's what I would say, though. I would probably have done an aging writer uses a younger humanoid double to sell her novel. But when the creation seizes her identity in life, she must fight to stop the humanoid version of herself, or just the humanoid, because it's already been established that it is her double. So you're being redundant here, before she's replaced forever.
It can be tightened.
It can be tightened,
it's
correct.
A solid log line, but it certainly can be
solid
tightened.
log line could absolutely be tightened. I think, the idea of writers being replaced is kind of fun, because this certainly taps into a fear that a lot of writers have right now.
Right.
So it's very topical, the idea of like AI doing all of the writing for us in the future. And although this isn't AI per se, it's a facsimile of it, and it feels a little bit like what was that Jeffrey Wright movie?
American Fiction.
American Fiction, kind of has that angle to it. Even though obviously, he was pretending to be somebody that he isn't or wasn't.
Right, yeah.
I mean, it's very different, but it still sort of has like a little bit of that.
And a lot of times when you write out your log line, then just start fidgeting with it. Just sort of like, see if I can move this here and move this here, and just sort of look at ways to sort of make it, often when I write log lines for scripts I read, I might start off with a really big one, long one, and then just started going, oh yeah, like I did that this morning. I started just taking off words, and I'm like, oh yeah, I think I went from like 42 to like 30 in like.
Yes. And look, like we could complain about sort of stopping a younger version of herself. Like, what does that mean? So like she's out on like the publicity trail. Obviously, nobody knows that the aging writer is an aging writer. Has the aging writer written a book about youth? Has the aging writer, do they have a bestseller, about youth culture?
It would hit strong if it was something she's written something about youth, or something about like not using something like anti-humanoid or something.
Whatever. Like yes, exactly right. And by the way, it's very possible that it is. It is, because this, you can tell that there's some smarts here.
Yes.
So it's very, very possible that is in the script, and maybe the writer just opted. That's too much. Yes. And again, it's like sometimes you don't know. It's damned if I do, damned if I don't.
Absolutely.
All right, but Good job.
Yes.
Um, all right. Hopefully, I'm not skipping any. I'm having a hard time
Next one
scrolling.
is, see, this one's not showing up on mine either. What the freaking hell?
Some of these log lines don't like you.
I know.
All right. After two fiery objects crash on the frozen Alaskan tundra, an off the grid mountain man rescues two extraterrestrial survivors to his cabin and learns they are enemies from warring worlds. They are enemies. So, okay.
The
So,
two.
listen, I think that's like, this is really interesting, right?
Yes.
It's interesting. So these are two enemies, two alien enemies, and he's now sort of almost caught in between them, unwittingly, I guess. But the problem is that this is just the concept. This is the setup.
It's the setup. I don't know. It's essentially a man finds alien and predator,
Correct.
and he brings them home, and now what
And
happens?
then what?
Exactly.
Right. So the rest of the log line should go something like, and finds himself caught, in the middle of a battle and,
Yeah.
struggles to destroy them both and save his life, blah, 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 whatever. But remember, who is the protagonist? What does the protagonist want? That's what this is missing.
Because the fact that he learns they're enemies, if that happens in Act 3, then it's a really slow script.
Exactly right. So, however, I'm assuming that this happens in Act 1 because my guess is that this is just the setup.
So if it happens in Act 1 that he learns they're warring enemies, now what?
Now what? Exactly right. So now I got to tell you, if this log line were in the log line contest, and I don't believe this was. I don't recall seeing.
I don't.
I would have really liked this a lot, but I would pass on it because it doesn't have that element of the telling us what the character does in response to the setup. But this is a pretty high concept idea.
Yes, I like the setup a lot.
Yeah, I do too. It could be like a fun script. So, and I like the way you were like, some guy finds alien and predator. Right. Yeah. So it's great. And you're like, holy shit, man. So yeah, really good, fun concept. Logline doesn't completely work, but that doesn't mean the script doesn't work. This just means that it's not really telling us what the script is about. Because remember, the movie is about what the character does in response to their problem. His problem is that he finds these two warring aliens, but you don't tell us what he does in response to that. That's what we have to know. That's the movie.
Yeah, you haven't activated the setup.
He hasn't activated the setup. He hasn't activated the concept. Yeah. You are correct, sir. All right, I still don't know if I'm passing any because.
By the way, I've forgotten which phrases I was supposed to say, so people can take shots and get drunk while they're watching this. I'm sorry. So.
Oh, something. It could be how many times you have to go tend to the dogs or something.
So they're being very quiet. I adore those two.
Something I gotta tell you, I miss your cat.
I know. I miss him too so much.
Cat used to make a little appearance every now and then.
He'd show up and he'd sit here and he'd
Very cute.
I miss Hobbs, my baby.
Yeah, those are the days. All right, the Diamond Eye by Kate Quinn.
It's so weird. I'm like not seeing any of these.
Well, maybe it's okay that you don't see this one.
I know.
The Diamond Eye by Kate Quinn. Want an adaptation so bad she looks just like my cousin Anastasia. I tell her she's Lady's death. I don't know what that is. Wait, hang on a second. I just saw something. Maybe this is a response to somebody. Damn it! Why can't I scroll?
Try and reboot.
Oh, here we go. Oh yeah. See, now I just found like a bunch of other ones. Yeah, I don't have a clue what this is. Want an adaptation so bad she looks just like my cousin Anastasia. I don't know. Maybe somebody's smoking crack or something. Which, by the way, if I were listening to this, I'd absolutely be smoking crack. All right, but here's one maybe that works. Haunted by his brother's death, a young Japanese American chef flees to Italy to escape his past, but drawn into organized crime, he must choose between saving his boss or betray his own moral code.
This is another one of these he must choose things. We got a lot of those he must choose log lines.
Right. So I'm familiar with this one, and I believe it's for a series. It's possible that that it's been retooled as a feature, but let's read it one more time. Haunted by his brother's death, a young Japanese American chef flees to Italy to escape his past, but drawn into organized crime, he must choose between saving his boss or betray his own moral code. All right, so Ramesh takes umbrage with the choose. Tell us why. What's the problem with choose?
Because it's like one moment.
Yeah, it's kind of just
It's
like
also
a moment.
internal. It's also internal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because
right,
am I watching the whole film going, do I do this? Do I do that? Do I do this?
right.
Do I do that? And it just sort of
Yes,
um
I agree with that. And
and
so
I'm guessing he's going to, he's not going to betray his moral code. But
yeah, I would find
who
something
knows?
sort of because I think what Nicole is doing here is that she's kind of bypassing what the character actually has to do
Yes.
and substitutes it for this more of this kind of like thematic approach. Writers tend to be attracted to this kind of stuff because they feel like, it elevates the story, or, it makes it feel like it has more meaning or more import. And when you're just telling us, okay, so now this guy finds himself in the employ of a mobster, and he must do, A, B, C, D. And then through that, we should be able to, as Ramesh said, extrapolate
Yes.
um, the idea that, there is some kind of moral dilemma, perhaps.
Yeah.
Right. So, you don't have to tell us like there is a moral dilemma. If you just tell us specifically what the character does in response, or how they react to their problem, we should be able to understand, oh, that's a moral dilemma.
Exactly. And we get a lot of that. It's the other version we also get. I didn't see a lot, but will he be able to save her before the bad man gets her? And like
Yes.
we're assuming, yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's
So
kind of like remember Batman?
yes, 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 exactly. It's the Batman ending.
Somebody's asking, how long does the log line have to be before it's cut off? I don't know what the character maximum is here. I would suggest again that this is a very good lesson for you. If your log line is too long, it gets cut off.
Right.
So it probably shouldn't be that long. All right. I think we saw this on the page. Appellation Z,
Yeah.
fleeing the military's weaponization program after cosmic radiation infected colleagues, a self-infected scientist searches for a cure before her bite unleashes a plague of Appalachian zombies.
Oh, is that? Oh, I didn't see the Appalachian zombies doesn't show up on the screen, by the
It
way.
doesn't show up on mine either because
Okay.
it got cut off, but
Okay.
I'm gonna take liberties that that's
The Appalachian Z, yeah.
what they were gonna write. All right, so fleeing the military's weaponization program after cosmic radiation infected colleagues, a self-infected scientist searches for a cure, but her bite unleashes a plague of Appalachia. Is this set in Appalachia?
I'm
I have
guessing.
to assume it is. Do they actually have scientists in Appalachia?
Yes, they do.
Sorry, I don't want to be a dick. Just, you know, just asking because I don't know. So look, this is kind of a
So,
look like this is zombie hillbillies,
yeah.
right? Which I like.
So,
I like zombie hillbillies. Um,
but again, it's the whole thing. She's searching for a cure, but her bite unleashes a plague. I mean, I get it, and then I don't know what she's trying to do to stop it.
And you know something? There's kind of like a lot of fleeing the military's weaponization program after cosmic radiation infected colleagues.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a lot for something that kind of
Can
is the
be.
backstory of almost every single zombie movie. You know,
Right.
it's almost always radiation.
Right.
So, you know, there could be a much, much easier way to sort of just
It's like that Romero
say
film,
that.
the Crazies had something like that, if
The
memory serves.
crazies, right? They weren't zombies per
No,
se,
yes, but
but it turned everybody into murderers, right?
yes, yes.
Yeah. That's
So
your boy. That's our boy.
that's exactly.
That's right. I
So
met his wife, remember?
that's right. And I took you to the cemetery.
You certainly did.
Uh, um,
Uh, uh, that's
so.
another story, folks.
Mhm.
When Ramesh and I date, we go to cemeteries. That's where he takes me on a date. He's very romantic.
uh,
Um, yeah. So look, you know, here sort of the hook might be like the hillbilly zombie. It says horror, it doesn't say horror comedy,
right.
so it's may not
No,
be fair for me to say hillbilly zombie, which is kind of funny. Um, this is okay. You know,
it's
I mean,
okay. I think they can the first part of it can be crunched down, uh,
yes, yes,
because
and I'm not really feeling a hook here.
no,
You know, I guess it's the idea that it's hillbilly zombies is the hook. But you
right,
know, unless they're like drinking moonshine and you know playing dueling banjos, a zombie's a
right,
zombie. So you know, so I don't exactly know sort of what it is. Uh, it's okay.
right. But that said, I might read this thing just based on the Appalachian hook variation to it. So,
All right, there you go. Ramesh, be careful what you
oh,
say.
I know it doesn't mean I will. I'm just
All
saying
right,
someone
okay.
may.
All right. Just to help me out. Forza, all by my friend Caroline. Carol and we spent some time in Scotland together.
Scotland.
Yes, we did. Hey, Caroline. All right. So, a naive teenager turned soldier stages a daring escape off a Nazi train and struggles across war torn Italy to get back home to Sicily. Based on a true story. This is her dad's true
Okay.
story. So, I'm familiar with this pitch. Ramesh, what do you think?
I like. I mean, I see the movie. It's uh, you know, I would like to know. Like, I mean, I get it through War Torn Italy, so I can sort of see all the stuff. It's sort of, and this is just me. Is like someone trying to get him back. Is someone after him? Because these movies generally, and I've seen a bunch of these. A lot of these tend to be when someone escapes. There's always a evil Nazi after them,
Right, right,
kind of
right.
thing.
Yeah, yeah,
The commandant or something like that. But
yeah.
it works. I can,
Yeah. So,
I can certainly see the movie.
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, it works. It's not particularly hooky.
no,
You know, like there isn't something there that sort of makes me go, oh, like that's different.
right.
Like that is interesting to me. That's something that I've not seen before.
No, we've seen stories about teenagers who are fleeing the Nazis and sort of hiding out here and hiding out there and going somewhere, and
Right.
so
But now this is her father's
yeah,
story, right? And
exactly.
so it's certainly, I'm sure that there's a few people that are saying, Chris, how can you say that her father's story lacks a hook?
Yeah,
And I have to be subjective here. No, I have to be objective here,
right,
and step back and sort of look at it, as I would look at it if it came into my office. So this works. This is a solid log line. It works, but sort of like in the world of movies,
right.
it lacks a hook that I think a lot of producers would say, "Oh yeah, that's different. I got to make this."
So
All right, but Caroline, thank you.
I wonder what the title means. I'm just curious.
I
Did she
don't
tell
know.
you?
If she did, I wasn't listening. Sorry.
So,
It's obviously an Italian word.
so,
Maybe it's his name. No,
I don't know. So,
I don't know. Well,
tell us on the page. Oh.
Dying for one of two, one of two. Um,
Uh-oh.
Dying for business, dark comedy. A funeral director embarks on a desperate undertaking to save his family's dying business and becomes a serial killer, but soon begins to struggle.
To do what?
It was just here, but I'm having a hard time
These
scrolling.
aren't even showing up anymore on mine. I have no idea what in the wide world of sports is going on here.
Here, I lost it. I lost it. I saw it and I lost it. Um, Sorry, I lost it. But by the way, this is what happens. You can't write a short log line. By the way, you would have been better off leaving out the title to
Yes.
save yourself a little bit of room.
I
Um,
like the sort of, undertaking, dying business,
yeah,
the
obviously
yeah,
killing people to drum up
business is
a
yeah,
business, and we know that she is activating it
right.
because it says soon begins to struggle. Remove the word begins.
Yeah,
Don't use begins. Don't refer to time in your log line.
right,
Just say because soon begins like what you want somebody to be looking at their watch.
right.
Just
So
and then struggles to. We understand time. Like all of that stuff is sort of understood.
right.
So yeah. So avoid all that stuff.
You could
Um,
also, instead of, and this is just me, embarks on to save his family's dying business, you could just say a cash-strapped funeral director or something like that, so that
yes, very
we
good.
sort of immediately know why he's doing it.
Yes, yes, yes. Very good. Very
And then
good.
you sort of get rid of a whole bunch of words, save his family business kind of thing.
Yes, yes. All right. Good job, even though we don't know what it is completely. I like the idea of a funeral director killing people to drum up business.
And I can see the dark comedy stuff here. I
Oh,
really,
absolutely.
yes, it could be a fun. I love dark comedies, and it could be a lot of fun.
All right. After being expelled as spies on their first three international assignments, recently married husband and wife team are about to wash out of the CIA. Time to get creative with espionage.
Okay, I don't know what happens here.
Yeah. Okay. So look, this is what we've been talking about. It's all set up, and then the writer doesn't tell us what the characters do in relation to the setup. And
Right.
again, that's your movie. So you're not telling us your movie.
Yes.
You are telling us basically the first 20 minutes, but then so you're telling us. Let me let me interpret this in a different way. You're giving us the pitch for Jaws. All right. So if this log line that you just wrote was the pitch for Jaws, you would say there's a man eating shark terrorizing a summer beach community.
Yes. Absolutely.
That's what you would tell us. You don't tell us that there's a sheriff who sets out to kill the shark. That you leave out.
Yes.
That's what this log line is. Anytime you don't tell us what the character does, you're leaving out Sheriff Brody setting out to kill the shark. You're leaving out Dorothy's mission to meet the wizard to send her back home. You're leaving out Hamlet's quest to avenge the murder of his father. You have to tell us what the character is doing in response to the problem.
Exactly. It's and I like the idea that there's a sort of bumbling. Uh, they're not really good at their jobs. I'm guessing. Uh,
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that the setup is fine. It's
yes.
fine, but again, we don't know what the movie's about. They're not telling us the
Yes.
movie.
Right.
That's what we want to know.
There was a film many years ago, back in the 80s, the Spies Like Us. Remember Chevy Chase,
I
Dan
do.
Aykroyd, who were the two bumblings who wind up being CIA agents, and yeah.
Yes, not a Chevy Chase fan. Sorry,
Uh, um, what, you don't like Fletch? You know,
not a Chevy Chase fan.
you know, using your whole fist there, Doc. So,
How many times have you seen Fletch?
many times. So, uh,
All right, let's see. This is Judy's. After the death of his wife, a bison rancher adopts a bison calf, which turns his life topsy turvy, all for his children who believe it's a divine gift from their mother.
Okay.
So I know this log line. I've seen it. So why don't you go first, Ramesh?
Um. Okay. It's set up. He adopts it, and then uh, also I would get rid of. You could get rid of the second bison if he's a bison rancher. I'm assuming it's a bison calf. Um,
Good point.
you could, but again,
I think you should. Yeah.
yeah, it turns his life topsy turvy. Okay, but I don't know what that is.
Right. So
It's
so
not specific enough for me,
right,
at least.
and it makes the character inactive.
Yes.
Right. So here you have a rancher who to make his children happy after the death of their mother adopts a calf, and the idea here is that like they adopt it like you would a kitten or a dog. So they have this calf in the house,
Right.
and so now this guy has to live with a calf in his house,
Right.
which makes him miserable, of course. Um, even if the log line hedged things a little bit, or maybe just leaned into things and said something like that he has to learn how to live with the calf.
Right.
And again, I don't love that, but or he struggles to live with the calf.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Then at least we understand what it is that he's doing, and you're making him active, as opposed to here he's being acted upon. His life is turned topsy turvy.
Yeah.
That's fine, but struggles to live with the calf because the children think it's a divine gift from their mother.
Right. And it's interesting because you assumed the bison comes into the
No,
house.
I don't assume that. I know that for a fact.
Okay. So because
But-
I didn't.
Well, you're right. And when I spoke to Judy about this originally, I was like I didn't know it either. And
Right.
then she explained. I was like, oh, that's interesting. And Judy, I thought I told you that you should find a way to incorporate that. So we understand. That's why if you say that he struggles to live with the calf, or coexist with the calf, or whatever it is, just to give us a little bit of an idea.
Because my assumption going into this was bison rancher, he's raising them to send them out to be killed as bison meat, but this one he decides to save and keep.
Right.
But I assumed it's outside. I didn't assume it's coming into the house to live
Correct.
with them.
Correct, because it's not there.
Right.
It's not there.
Exactly. And that
Right.
changes the whole thing.
It does change the whole thing.
It's
Absolutely.
like,
Yeah.
I saw
Right. Because when we understand that the calf is in the house, it all of a sudden you get it.
Yeah.
Like you get it, you see the movie, it's almost like one of those old-fashioned Disney movies. Somebody adopts a wolf, where they bring a horse into the house, or like whatever it is.
I saw a video the other day of a guy who has a cat, a dog, and a deer in his house.
There you go. Right. So and you can imagine if it's like a bison calf, that's a big ass animal.
Exactly.
Right. So
that element is missing. It's you knew the story, I didn't.
Correct.
And most execs, I'm guessing all the execs who would get this wouldn't know that.
They would not know that. Correct. So Judy, that's the advice. The advice is to somehow, some way, allow us to understand that calf comes into the house like a cat or a dog.
Right. Because bison's freaking big.
Absolutely.
So, I'm guessing even a bison calf
sitting everywhere, and they're like in his bed, and there's no room for you in a bed when there's some stinky bison calf in there.
Right.
So oh my God, part ones. By the way, guys, you're striking out with the part ones and the part twos because they're just not that easy for us to find, the part twos.
Unless part one is it's Rough Seas. Okay, yeah.
I don't know. Let me just read what it says. A retired pilot convinces his reluctant menopausal wife to leave Colorado for the Florida Keys in the middle of the summer and try boating life for just a month.
Okay, that's the setup, which is a long setup.
Yeah, rough seas. Maybe they're out on the seas and they get stranded out there or something. I
Yeah,
don't know.
but
Maybe we'll come across part two. Wait a minute. Oh, this is, yeah, okay. Here we go. Now,
you
please
found
don't
part
move.
two.
Yeah, I found it. And by the way, it's longer than part one.
Oi.
Okay, rough seas. A retired pilot convinces his reluctant menopausal wife to leave Colorado for the Florida Keys in the middle of summer and try boating life for just a month. But when they crash the boat on their first day at the marina and learn their home is burnt to ashes, sudden massive debt forces them into hilarious fish out of water situations.
Yes. Okay.
All right. So I think the name is Jana. Maybe I'm saying that right. I'm not sure. My eyes are not
Oh,
great.
Yana. Oh, Yana.
Jana. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that. I Americanize everything.
Yeah.
So look, this is like an amazingly long
Oh.
setup, and then it sort of peters out with hilarious fish out of. First of all, don't editorialize in your logline.
Yes.
Don't say hilarious. Let us
Figure out that it's
deem it to be hilarious, because if you're telling us right off the bat, I don't believe you.
No, and
And
we
don't
had a
believe it's
few of
hilarious.
those. We had a few of those hilarious mayhem ensues kind of plot
Yeah,
lines.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Just best to just tell us what we need to know. Of course, you think it's hilarious.
Right.
So, but there's so much here.
This setup is way too long.
It's just way too long.
Essentially a couple crashes their boat as they are about to leave on a trip.
And then hilarious fish out of water situations.
Like, I don't know what those fish out of water situations are.
And then it sounds episodic because
Right.
there's not one singular goal for these characters to thread these various situations, right? They're just sort of they don't have a place to live, I guess.
Right.
I mean, I don't know why they don't go back to Colorado.
Right.
Or maybe their home burnt. So I guess while they were away, their home in Colorado burnt to ashes.
They crashed their boat.
So what? Something? Get an Airbnb. Movie's over.
So, yeah, that was like my Uber solution.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Look, I think that there are some redeeming qualities to it. There's a certain kind of sweetness to it, but there's so much information, and then it doesn't amount to anything.
There's way too much setup. Figure out a way to put your setup down to just a few words, and then tell us what we sort of are going to sort of figure out what's going to happen in Acts 2 and 3.
Right.
But, and yes, don't say hilarious mayhem ensues, scary situations happen.
Right.
Let us
All we want to know is, what is the character doing? What is it that they must achieve to solve their problem?
After their boat crashes and their house burns down, what do these people do?
Right. What is it that they're trying to achieve? What are we watching? Are they trying to find a new place to live? I don't really know here. I can't even really give any kinds of suggestions, to be honest. After a lifetime conquering fear and the bounds of human endurance, an Aussie ultra runner and super yacht captain makes his second attempt at Denali, where one wrong step will alter his life forever. So we're doing like a mountain climb here?
Yes, Denali, yes.
All right.
Sorry,
and
I don't know why I did that's ladder climbing.
It looked like you were milking that bison calf.
Thank you.
You kind of look like Donald Trump, when he does his little dance.
Oh, great. So.
All All right, so after a lifetime conquering fear and the bounds of human endurance, an Aussie ultra runner and super yacht captain makes his second attempt.
At
One
Denali.
wrong step. All right, yeah. So look,
I don't know if I need super yacht captain.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. It could just be
Yeah,
too much information. I'm not sure what that has to
to
do
do
with
with
mountain climbing. This
right.
and do you think that everybody will know that it's mountain climbing? Some people might think, "Oh, is the guy thirsty?"
Right.
He's
Yes.
taking a second attempt at bottled water.
So
Um,
and
so,
yeah, it's
I think what I would really like to know is I'd like to know why the character is doing this.
r- exactly. And here's the thing for me is that if he has spent a lifetime conquering fear and bounds of human endurance, is Denali that much of a
Right. And
obstacle for him? I don't know. I'm not a
and
yeah.
and it's his second attempt.
Attempt. Yes.
So maybe the log line should revolve around the first
First
attempt.
attempt.
How the first attempt was a failure,
Right.
create some fear and
Right.
shit around that.
Right.
So then we understand that the second attempt
If
is,
if he
carries a lot of psychological baggage
if he has
with
a
it.
fear of mountain climbing,
Yeah.
despite being this endurance guy,
Yeah,
if
I
he
mean,
has a fear,
this could be a true story. The only reason I'm saying that is because there are the idea of an Aussie ultra runner and super yacht captain.
yes,
To me, that just leans toward
good
somebody who's writing about a real person
person,
because I
yes.
think a fictitious character probably wouldn't be all of those things.
No, he
Um,
wouldn't. But then also,
Certainly not in a screenplay,
if you're
perhaps.
doing a real life story, then I would suggest fictionalizing some of it, so it
Yeah. Now
works
again,
out
we don't
better.
know for a fact
Yes,
that that is the case here. We're only speculating. But yes, I would say that if this is a second attempt,
right.
then creating the drama around that. Sure, I get it that mountain climbing is dangerous. Just
Yes,
generally speaking, mountain climbing is dangerous. It's dangerous for anybody to
right.
do it. So we have to understand why, for this specific character, we care more about his climb than somebody else's climb.
Yes,
And that's what the
absolutely.
log line isn't quite doing yet.
I wish, yeah, if he had failed catastrophically on the first one, and it caused he's now terrified of mountains, and
Right.
uh,
Like, he got stuck there and, he had to eat his arm,
right,
and
right,
so now he's,
so like,
or something.
or he had to, like,
Maybe not.
eat
Maybe
his
not.
pet dog or his son or
But
whatever.
whatever it is, something traumatic happened in that first
Climb that makes
that
this
just
all the
makes
more
this
makes this
climb all the
yeah,
more interesting for us, the audience.
yes.
All right. It's a good start. Um, After slipping away from the mental hospital, an aging serial killer, desperate for grace, hitchhikes toward his last innocent memory, only to have his day trip waylaid by a psychotic fanboy.
Okay.
All right, so look, I like the idea of a of
Agents, yes.
yeah, an aging serial killer who kind of hooks up with the fanboy because here I'm assuming that the serial killer who is desperate for grace is going back to a place that is good and happy and
Right.
peaceful for him, and the psychotic fanboy is perhaps fanning his serial killer flames somehow, some way.
Exactly. I think it could be clearer. By the way,
To be much clearer.
I see a lot of, for some reason, the aging serial killers in and of itself are still very popular. I mean, Scandinavia has made a cottage industry out of it. But um, the aging serial killer has become really popular. I get a lot of scripts and see a lot of books about aging serial killers.
By the way, this is
Um,
called Ed Gein 2, the musical.
oh,
So this is so look again. I like the idea.
right.
It reminds me a little bit of like Psycho 2.
Yeah, which I really liked
Oh,
actually.
I love Psycho 2. I
Psycho 2
think
is
it's
really
I think it's
good.
very underrated.
Yes.
Um, but Norman gets out of the mental institution,
Yes.
and then he's kind of being
Meg
goaded
Tilly. Yes.
sort of back into his psychosis a little bit.
Yes.
And there's obviously all kinds of subterfuge going on and this and that. And but again, this log line doesn't tell us what the serial killer does in response to this.
Exactly. This is the setup. He escapes from a mental hospital and heading there, and he meets this guy, this psycho fanboy, and then what happens?
Right,
Uh,
exactly.
uh,
So we've got a concept, but we don't quite have a movie.
right.
The concept is interesting and it's
Yeah.
good.
Right.
But if this were in the logline contest,
I don't. Also, the title Ed Gein the musical makes me
and
think
game
of
two,
the musical makes me think it's a comedy.
well, I would agree, and maybe it is,
Yes, but
and maybe it's a musical. But yeah, we wouldn't get any of that
yeah,
from this.
we're killing now. We're killing now.
By the way, Ramesh, you always wear that hat. Ed Gein, he's got like
I know. Actually, this is exactly the yes. I know now. That's kind of scary.
got that famous picture. All right, so again, I cannot scroll. It's I can't scroll back down. You know what the problem is that I can scroll down, but I can't scroll back
Yeah, I
up.
can't either. I missed a lot. I can't scroll scroll this way.
So if we missed your log line, you might want to repost it
Yes.
so we can then come at it again because we can't go back and it keeps jumping. It's very annoying. All right, here's another one. When accidental irradiation during a search for dark matter gives a novice physicist the ability to transform matter, she'll battle those responsible to prevent herself from becoming their weapon.
When accidental radiation during a search for dark matter
Gives a novice physicist the ability to transform matter, she'll battle those responsible to prevent herself from becoming their weapon. So, yeah, it's a little too technical for me.
it is. I don't really know I don't know the story here.
So we have a physicist, a novice physicist, who accidental irradiation during a search for dark matter gives her the ability to transform matter. I don't know exactly what that means, but she gets some kind of superpower. She now has to battle those responsible for giving her that superpower to prevent herself from becoming their weapon. So I get this story. I mean, I think we've kind of seen this thing before. Look, it's really no different than, let's say, like one of the Frankenstein movies where you've got Dr. Frankenstein creates a monster and then he uses the monster for his own stuff, and then the monster perhaps begins to sort of understand that he's being used and manipulated, and then wants to fight back. So this is kind of an archetypal story. I would suggest to find a much easier way to
The first part is
science. The first part, yeah. Right, yeah.
And maybe I'm stupid, but yeah, the first part of it is jargony.
Right. I agree. Remember, we really shouldn't have to read your log line twice. A really good log line, somebody reads it once and they get it.
Absolutely.
If they have to read it again, they might get it on the second try and like it, but it still makes them think, well, maybe it's a little too abstruse. So try for that, just that one read. All right. An old man trips over a dead body and becomes the key eyewitness in a murder investigation. The only problem? He's blind. Okay, so the blind man trips over a dead body and becomes the key eyewitness
In a
to a
murder.
murder investigation. Yeah. I mean, look, I kind of have an issue with this because he obviously can't be an eyewitness if he's blind.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So, so it just kind of feels it feels like gimmicky, but in a dumb way, with all due respect.
There was a film back in the 90s, Blink, with Aidan Quinn and Madeline Stowe, where she is getting eye surgery so she can just barely see.
I
And
remember that.
there's a murder, and she becomes the only witness, and then the killer comes after her.
Yes, I remember one that was done also in the 90s. It was like an indie film. It was very good, where the protagonist was deaf, but it was that same, it was the
Right.
same kind of thing. So, it's like, and again, it's like this is all just set up. Right? It's just set up. So the old man trips over a dead body, becomes the eyewitness in a murder investigation, and the only problem is he's blind. We're supposed to go, ooh, oh wow, that's cool. But to me,
it's more like when a blind man becomes the only clue.
That's like that sounds more interesting, I think, right? But then the problem is that who's the protagonist here? Is it like the detective who needs to try to get the blind man to figure out what it is that he saw through his hearing and his smell and his touch, but you haven't given the blind man anything to do in this, so you have rendered him inactive.
In most cases, stories like this, it's always the blind man, the deaf guy, the blind woman. It's always, remember Wait Until Dark?
Of course.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. All right. The heart is deceitful. The heart is deceitful above all things. The writer was actually someone else. Oh, this might, again, they created a fictional identity. This might be in response to somebody else. Okay, sorry. There's like a lot of little conversations going on. So I don't know what that's supposed to be. All right. Here we go. A cynical podcaster gains experimental AI hearing aids that reveal men's unfiltered thoughts, pulling her into sudden fame, emotional chaos, and a journalist torn between exposing her and loving her. All right, so it's a little bit of kind of like what women want.
And then it was remade too. I remember. Yeah.
They swapped it.
Yes.
Yeah, right. And I didn't see the remake, but in the
Mel Gibson, Helen Hunt.
In the Mel Gibson version, there's a very specific through line, right? Which is that he and Helen Hunt are working on an advertising campaign together, and he's stealing her thoughts.
Yeah.
And the finish line of the movie is pretty much the idea of getting this presentation, to the clients.
Right.
With all this other stuff going on here, we sort of don't have that.
And along the way, he learns. He's sort of, I remember, if memory serves, he's sort of this sexist guy, and he sort of learns.
Yeah, and he falls in love with her and stuff. Yes. Here we have a cynical podcaster who can hear the unfiltered thoughts, and it makes her famous. It creates emotional chaos. And then he turns the log line over to another character, makes the other character active instead of the cynical podcaster, because the cynical podcaster is not active in this. She's reactive. And then it's the journalist who is torn between exposing her and loving her.
The journalist is the one who has the
dilemma.
Who has the dilemma. And again, it's, do I expose her? Do I love her? Do I marry?
Right. It's a choice that Ramesh doesn't like choices. Neither do I, really. And so there's an interesting concept here. but the log line is a mess.
But I would, if this is the story, then the journalist is the one. When a journalist finds out that the woman he loves is
Right. However, I would say that would be a terrible idea
no, yes,
because it's really the podcaster that
absolutely.
has the more interesting stuff going on, but you haven't positioned her in a place where it's her story. So we are drawn to making the journalist more active because you kind of have leaned into that.
Right. So this story, it's the journalist's story.
Right. Right. Exactly. And it really shouldn't be. So, all right. Good job. Sometimes we got to be tough, Ramesh.
We do.
All right.
But it's all tough love.
It is tough love. And by the way, we only got about another 10 minutes because remember, we got to reveal the winner of our logline contest. You don't think we have over 100 people hanging on to hear all this bullshit. By the way, most people have walked away from their computer. They're not even paying attention to this.
Okay, the winner is Kaiser Soze. There we go.
Oh, there we go. The winner. All right. When an ambitious lawyer discovers that an election denier stole the most recent presidential election, she'll risk her career and her life to expose the scheme before the votes are certified.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very solid. It's obviously very topical.
It is
very topical. So I like that.
I get the stakes. And yeah.
You know what might have been more interesting, and I hate to do this, but like it might have been more interesting if, like, instead of an ambitious lawyer, that it was just one of those like volunteers.
Yes, because the ambitious lawyer has a little bit more. He can be smooth, or she can be smoother, and
yeah. Like an ambitious lawyer feels closer to the solution than some like housewife who just goes to the local B'nai B'rith to collect signatures and votes on election day. But regardless, this is a good log line.
Hey, the dogs.
There we go. Perfect timing. Yeah, this is a good log line, I think. Yeah. Overall, it's good. And again, I really like the topicality.
I do too, and I think the stakes would be greater if it was like an election volunteer or an election judge.
Yeah, but but that's our movie. It isn't his movie. By the way, this was not in the logline contest.
Wasn't, and why not?
I got to tell you, if it were, it would have been very, very high.
Exactly.
Very, very high. All right.
Another wouldn't I wouldn't mind reading this at some point. Yeah.
Very good job. All right. Two divorced parents unravel over a single college drop-off weekend, turning their daughter's move into an ego-fueled competition to prove who loves her more as she's ready to leave them behind. I like this. It's good. It's cute.
It's a cute comedy.
Yeah. I get it. So you've got the two divorced parents. They're sort of, it's a competition to turn their to prove who loves her more. So look, we don't exactly know what it means, like what it is that they're actually doing. I will allow this log line to sort of skate around that a little bit.
See this Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn. There you go.
Yeah. Again, maybe a little bit vague in regards to proving who loves her more, exactly what that means. But it doesn't matter. There's enough here that
the competition sort of tells me what they might be doing.
Exactly right. Like who's going to buy her the best furniture, who's going to do this, who's going to try to impress her roommate, blah, 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 like a whole bunch of things.
Right. And again, this one wasn't in the competition.
It wasn't. I know. Yeah, this is good.
I like this one.
I do too. I'm just scrolling. All right, here we go. When a lonely kid's wish comes true and her favorite stuffed animal comes to life, she must keep her new best friend hidden or risk her family being kicked out of an apartment that doesn't allow pets.
That's kind of cute.
That's very cute.
It is.
Very cute.
Well,
it's very cute.
I wish I knew what the stuffed animal was.
Yes, I think you're right. you know, and it might be fun if it were obviously
Like a giraffe.
exactly right. Yeah, you know, a unicorn
Right,
but
exactly. Something like that. I wish I knew what the stuffed animal was because it creates having a little teddy bear is different than a giraffe or a grizzly
yes,
bear or whatever it is. Yeah.
yes. And look, you know, obviously the script has to sustain the conflict, which feels a little bit one note to me. Um,
It's
you
like
know, the idea of having to keep the animal hidden, you know, that to me is maybe good for a scene or three at max. And then what do you do after that? But again, in the hands of a skilled writer, they'll be able to sort of
right.
take that to where it needs to be. I would just need to have the confidence that the writer could do that
Wish
going into it.
and I get the apartment that doesn't allow pets, but I wish they made the antagonist clear like a Snoopy superintendent,
Like a landlord or
a
something. Yeah.
landlord,
Yes, exactly. Very good point.
and hey,
Again, you know, look, Ramesh and I can nitpick these things to death, and we do that just because it's part of the, you know, instructional value. But overall, this is very cute. It's obviously for little kitties, I would think, but regardless, it's very cute.
and if you can get specific about the stuffed animal, I think it would add a lot to the script, to the log line.
I agree. All
Like a
right, we're winding down. I know. We're winding down. Um,
did you
I'm gonna look for one more, Ramesh, and then we're gonna make our announcement.
did you see Dead Friendly by Sharon Sampson?
I didn't. Why don't you read it?
It's after dying in her sleep, a young woman's ghost must learn how to pierce the veil between life and death to save her best friend from a serial killer.
Okay, it's interesting. You know, it's a little bit like Ghost, right?
Yeah,
Ghost. Remember, with Patrick Swayze's dead, and isn't
right.
there somebody trying to kill Demi?
Yes.
Right? And he's yeah. So okay, you know, like we've seen it before,
Yeah.
so we know it works. Um, it's solid. You
Yeah.
know, the idea of the uh, veil between life and death. It's a little vague, but yet again, we've seen it, so we understand.
Right.
You
In
know?
Ghost, it was sort of personal because it was, if memory serves, the Tony Goldwyn character had a link. Wasn't he Patrick Swayze's like best friend or
I
something like
believe so. Yes, correct.
that? And all of that. So,
Right.
but yeah, it's a solid log line. So,
Solid log line. Okay.
uh,
Thank you for that. All right, here's one more. It's called Pieces of Silver. A bully teen suddenly beset by an ancient werewolf curse must cage the beast inside before the full moon triggers another massacre. A bully teen suddenly beset by an ancient werewolf curse must cage the beast inside, or like within, I guess,
right.
before the full moon triggers another massacre.
Okay. Is he the one massacring people?
Yeah, we see the massacre, so we don't know much about that massacre.
Right. Because
It's okay, you know, not much of a hook.
there isn't. I mean, for the
You know,
wolf,
Lawrence Talbot was always, you know, always very upset because he was a werewolf, and you know, he was always trying to stop it. And in all those movies, he's always trying to find a cure, you know, in
right.
being a werewolf.
And remember the movie Wolf with Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer, where
Yeah,
Nicholson turns wolf and he just handcuffs himself to a steel pipe so he won't turn.
right,
And
right,
he'll be there. And
right,
so why doesn't this kid just handcuff himself?
right. All right. So look, I'm sure there are more. So here's what we're going to do. Ramesh and I promise that we will come back again. Okay, Ramesh.
Yeah.
Putting me
Yeah.
on the spot now. Ramesh and I will come back again soon, very soon, maybe like just like right within the new year, maybe. And we will pick up where we left off, and we'll do a beginning of the year, not another contest, but just, you know, like a beginning of the year log line thingamajig like we're doing now to pick up on the ones that we didn't get to.
Right. And by the way, I will announce the winners and everything in a separate post on our page.
On our group page, right? But we're going to announce live here now, Ramesh. So, is there anything that we want to say? I mean, I think we kind of
Now,
preface stuff at the beginning. Maybe some people joined us late, but so we are not going to announce the log line
right.
at this moment. We're only going to announce the winner.
Right. And if the winners and the runners up say it's okay to print the log line, once I post it, I won't post the log line. I'll just post their names and the script titles. And once you tell me it's okay, if you say, yeah, go ahead, then I will go back and rejigger the post and the log lines will be there.
And
So,
then you can all go in there and rip them apart and say, my goddamn log line was better than this. And look, again, remember, it's all subjective. It's very, very, very subjective. We were specifically looking for certain things. We really, really wanted the log lines to have the protagonist and that goal and that antagonistic force. We were really looking for that. So even if you had a great concept, like we saw here today, there was some stuff that we really liked. There was a couple of really good concepts, but it wasn't a log line.
no.
Maybe in like the real world, we might say, hey, something, I like this concept enough that I'm going to inquire about it. But for the sake of this contest, we were really looking for all of that. And mostly because that's the stuff that we're always preaching in the group. Right. It's there all the time. So if you're reading the feedback, you should have known better.
Right.
I mean, because a few times I was like maybe these people just like have only seen one post ever, and it was like, join our logline contest.
Right.
And because there were just some that sort of were just so off of sort of what it is that we often talk about.
And there were quite a few that were just the premise. It was just only set up. And
like we saw here.
Right. And this wasn't a log line, but, a shy man meets a woman at a bar. Okay. And so that's
right. Right. And then what?
Right.
So we definitely saw a lot of that.
Right.
And I will, in a day or two, post some of the statistics that I gathered from the log lines and share that with you. But all right, so Ramesh, why don't you remind everybody what the two prizes are?
Okay, the two prizes. The winner gets a free entry into the gauntlet, so you don't have to pay at all.
And that's like $380 they're saving, correct?
Goes through the gauntlet works. The readers read the first 20, possibly the first 37 readers read it. And then if the majority of them like it, it goes to the next level and then the next level. And everyone who reads it for the gauntlet is either someone working in the business or a currently working story analyst.
Which means that even if your script does not advance to a higher level, there's still a possibility that one of those readers could find promise in your script and reach out to you.
Right. And you'll also get you'll get, at least on the first 20, 30 pages, you'll get notes from you'll get notes from 7 readers too.
Right. So it's definitely, and listen, you're not paying for it, so stop complaining. So it's great. And, they are friends of the Inside Pitch, clearly, because they have given us this. So thank you to Scott and Brian. We really do love you guys. And then, of course, Joey Tuccio. If you want to thank Joey, go out and save a dog. But Joey has given us his pitch prep.
Yes.
Something. His pitch prep.
Yes.
What's the third word? Is it just pitch prep?
Pitch prep? Yes. Try saying that 5 times.
Okay. So, and that's, from what I understand, it's pretty good, because I know a few people who have gone through and they found it to be very, very helpful.
So that's and the winner gets both. And it's, again, these guys have given it to us for free. It doesn't cost you anything to enter the contest. It doesn't cost you anything to claim the prizes. Right.
In fact, the only pain and suffering is having to sit through us. But otherwise, so look, let's enjoy this and take it in the spirit that it is meant. So why don't we do this, Ramesh? Why don't you mention the two the two runners up, or the honorable mentions.
Okay.
Their names are. So here we go, folks.
The first runner up, and it's in no order, is Stephen Hoover for day one.
Stephen Hoover from day one.
Won last year.
Stephen Hoover won last year, that bastard.
Yes.
All right. Very good. Congratulations, I almost called him Stuver. Stephen Hoover for day one. Okay.
Is Bolin Miller for Scout.
Bolin Miller for Scout.
Yes.
Congratulations to Bolin Miller. So we've got Stephen Hoover, Bolin Miller. They are our runners up.
Yeah.
By the way, is it runners up or runner ups?
Runners up, like Attorney General.
Okay, thank you. All right. But I don't have to say that anymore. And now Ramesh.
And the winner
This is what we've been waiting for, Ramesh.
Wait, I gotta go to. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, go. All right. The winner of the 2025 The Inside Pitch Logline Contest is
Eileen Montague for Aged Out.
Eileen Montague for Aged Out. So, there we go. Everybody, thank you so much. Believe it or not, we actually really like doing all of this stuff, although we complain a lot.
Yes.
We really do enjoy this. Sorry if we didn't get to all of your stuff, but
I will be posting this announcement on the page very shortly. And then if you submitted your loglines for the contest and do want some feedback, we will try, but you can post them there. And
yeah, of course. Yes. Okay. I thought you said that we were going to respond to them all. I was ready to go.
Oh, no.
But again, to those 216 brave souls, thank you so much for participating. We really appreciate you, because otherwise we wouldn't we would be playing with ourselves, Ramesh. So we hope everybody has a very happy, healthy, safe holiday. It might be tough for some people out there, but you know something, write. Lose yourself in your writing, lose yourself in your creativity. Find your happiness there. It's definitely a happy space. Come to the Inside Pitch. And Ramesh, again, thank you. Steve Enlow, we love you. Happy holidays to you as well.
And thank you. Have a wonderful, safe holiday season. Enjoy the time. As Chris said, some people it's really tough, but and I get that. But come to the page, have some fun.
Come visit us and be nice to each other. Remember, all right.
Be kind.
Peace.
Peace. There. Oh, that.